Hi everyone, it's Lehman with Lacecoveredskies. Today I'm here to do a little bit more crafting, and I'm doing this as a follow-up to the video that I made, the video where I made these envelopes. And one of my viewers asked me to actually show how I made the envelope, because all I did in that video was decorate it. So today I'm going to go ahead and make some of these envelopes, and I'm also going to make this type of envelope. But before I do that, let me just go ahead and show you what was completed with this. So in that video, I had decorated the back of it, and then I went ahead and sewed on the flashcard and a tab, and then I stuck one of these cards in there. So let me just kind of flip through it. There's this one, this one. I like how the pop of orange kind of stands out on this one. And then this one. So I'm going to go ahead and make this type of envelope first. I had showed in a previous video how I glue pages together in a book. I think the video is called Crafting Efficiently or something like that. And what I do is I'll take a book. So I have this book block that I'm working with. This one is almost gone. This one and this one. So luckily I have been going through these like crazy. So what I do is I take a book and I go ahead and I glue 2 pages together. So every 2 pages I'll just glue it, and basically just take a glue stick, glue all the way down, and put the pages together. And when the book is still on its block, I find that it's easier to line the edges together, and it makes it go a lot quicker. So I'll just go through and do like half a book at a time kind of thing. And once you get going, it doesn't take that long. I think I showed this in that video that I mentioned before, the Crafting Efficiently video. But I'll go ahead. So I glued these 2 pages together, and I will go ahead and use this to show you how I made this pocket. So after I glue it, I will first ink it. So I'll kind of figure out where I need to ink. So if I'm going to make this, I'm going to ink, actually this, I'm going to go ahead and ink this edge, no, actually this edge, and along this side. Let me grab my distress ink. This is frayed burlap that I'm using. I found that frayed burlap is a little bit dark for my liking, but that's what I have now, so that's what I'm using. So I'll go ahead and ink this side. And the reason why I ink it when it's still on here is because for me it goes a little bit faster, because there's something supporting the back of it. I don't like to ink things when they're like kind of floppy, so I do as much as I can on here. Alright, then I go ahead and tear this off. And if I'm doing a whole bunch of them at once, I'll do that step over and over again. So I am going to cut off the rough edge. Okay. Now for this envelope, I just find the middle which I'm not very exact, and you don't have to be very exact. So just kind of find the middle, and I am going to fold the uninked side in first. So I'm laying it down like this. I fold it into about the middle. And I score it. And then I go ahead and fold it in on this side, overlapping just a little bit to give yourself room to glue. Score this side. And then the next thing I do is I take a ruler and I draw a straight line across. And I'm not very good at making straight lines, just a disclaimer. I'll usually make the line on the top of the envelope thicker than the bottom. After I draw the line, I will cut on the line without going past that fold. And I've been liking using book pages lately because my botanical journals or my nature journals, I think it suits it really well. And I love the look of words on the back in the background. So this is how it started. And after drawing the line, I cut along the line. Now we have these flaps and we're going to cut them off. So once you do that, you will have this. The next thing I do is I round the corners. And once you round the corners, you're going to kind of start seeing it come together a little bit more. After I have this much done, I tend to ink. So I'm going to ink on any exposed sides. So I'm going to ink along these parts. Go ahead and do that first. Let me see if I'm in frame here. Okay. So I'm inking those edges. And next, I will figure out what the top and bottom are. So I like the top part to be a little bit thicker. So this side is thicker than this side. So I'll make this the top. Now, that means that I need to ink this part of it. Then I'll just go around. Then I'll get the other side. And then for the bottom flap, so that's right side up. Now for the bottom flap, it's going to be folded up. So I'm going to turn it over and ink it on the other side, which actually is a little bit inked already, which is good. Okay. Then I will go ahead and fold it up. and score it. And then I'm going to glue the sides down. So I will take, I know this belongs on the top because I inked it. So I'm going to glue on this edge. So I'm going to glue on this under edge right here. And I'm going to make sure I don't put glue here because it's going to glue the envelope shut. So I put it very close to the edge. Let me grab a piece of scrap paper. And then I go ahead and glue this. On this edge, put a little bit more glue. And there you have it. You have an envelope that you can use like this, or you could embellish it up any way you want, the way I did this. It's quick and easy and very cost effective, or a very good way to reuse or use up your book pages. Now I'm also going to show you how to make this one. This one will be sewed, but basically, so this is an old Nancy Drew book, and I've already glued 2 pages together. Each of these are 2 pages glued together. I'm going to tear one out. Then go ahead and cut off the rough edge. I think it's time for me to get a new paper cutter. This one's still working, so I'm still using it. Alright, so as you can see, this pocket right here started as literally just a big page. So the first thing I'm going to do is fold this in half. And I'm going to make sure that the bottom edge lines up, because that's the more important edge, because this side's going to be cut anyways. Next, I will draw a straight line. Hopefully that is straight. And then I'm going to cut on that line. Just cut straight across. And then just remove it by cutting on this side. Then I'm just going to eyeball it and cut off the corners. It doesn't need to be exact. And then what happens next, I'm not going to show you the sewing part because my sewing machine is kind of in a weird spot, but I will sew. Okay, so it's going to end up looking like this, but I'll basically sew down this way, across this way, up this way to adhere the 2 sides together. And then I'll turn back around and messy stitch again down this way, over this way, and then up this way. And then I'll messy stitch just this part as well. and then you'll end up with this. And I will be decorating this. I think I'll come back another day and decorate these. But yeah, I hope this was helpful. Thank you to one of my viewers who asked me to make this video. I hope it was helpful. If you have any questions, just leave them down below, and I will talk to you next time. Bye everyone.